This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Here's my impression of our agent Duck, right? If he was an actual duck, right?
All right.
Well, lads, I'm after getting you a gig, but they're only going to give you bread.
I think it sounds like a really good deal.
I think it sounds like a really good deal. Great exposure.
Because his name is Doug. Do you get
His
that?
name's Duck.
They don't really get that because they don't know his name is Doug.
His nickname is Duck. Lads, I'm after eating all the bread I was supposed to give you for the gig. What's a duck to do? Lads, I'm after getting in shite. It's just what us ducks do. It's called mating, but it looked really rough. There's footage of me online.
One day it was lashing rain and he was like, this is great weather, isn't it? The worst ones are the best. The worst ones are the best.
They're attractive.
They're very attractive.
Hot and loud.
And a little bit sad.
He was the best guy around.
Oh my. Is it hot in here or what?
You're an attractive guy.
It's the fabulous Tony Cantwell.
I'm talking about Shane Daniel Byrne.
Our Robbie-and nights, our Robbie-and days. I'm Aladdin.
Oh, you're
Tony
Aladdin.
has the re-rock up on his head, which I've now joined him in doing.
Our Robbie-and nights, like a Robbie-and days. Re-raw.
A re-raw. So a re-raw is not available in the Middle East, but it is available here in Ireland, and it is brewed in Cunte
Jesus.
Kilwanton.
They know, they love it.
County
Re-raw, it's a
Wicklow.
light, fresh lager, brewed thing. They sponsor our podcast. We love that they do it. We love that you've been buying it and sending us pictures of you drinking it. Love it. Have a great time with the Re-raw.
Absolutely. And so sorry to the residents of Agrabah. There is no re-raw. You probably can't drink that there anyway. Re-raw.
Guys, I have sore arms from working out.
Do you? How's your PT?
I went for that sec. I tell you, the accountability piece is really good because I was like, in my body, I was like, don't go there.
Yeah.
Do not go back to that place, right?
Don't go there.
I was like, I'll never go there again. I'll just piss that money up the wall. And then, because I knew he was going to text me and ask that I went in. So I sent him back for my verification. He doesn't ask for verification. He just says like, did you make it in? How did you get on? Such and such is on the floor if you want to ask them any help with the exercises. And then I sent him back a picture of me, a selfie with him, his poster in the background of his personal training poster.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, proof. So shout out to him for that. Thank you for your keeping me accountable.
That's great.
And that day's
And
paper.
I was doing that thing, you pull down to do triceps. You pull down that machine. And when he went through it with me, I was like, I'm sure I did biceps and triceps at the same time. Then I was trying to figure out, how do you do biceps on this machine? Then I remembered like 20 minutes, I was like, oh, I had a whole other weight. I had a whole barbell. And it was humiliating. I was like, people must have thought like, what a weirdo. I read these
I'd say you're good at
stories.
that. You got a strong back.
Yeah.
But I use my arms too much. I don't know. I have a hunchback. I read these stories online of people saying like, I thought the gym was going to be really scary. And then actually, it's a really nice community and everyone's very supportive and no one minds. People are always trying to help. And I felt like, when are any of these hot muscle guys going to help me? I was like, I've been there twice. Like, haven't you gone over and go, hey, mate, need any help with your machine? I'd be like, yes, please.
I think you need to put yourself in genuine peril. So I think you need to actually pull the thing down and then put your head in between the weights and be like, help! Help! And then maybe you'll befriend someone,
I'll fucking do it!
Yeah.
I'll fucking do it!
You could die in there pretty easy.
You could die.
Accidentally, like a guy's just like doing a thing and you just pop up between his legs like, sorry, am I using this wrong?
Yeah. How many sets left? Yeah.
Man, there's nothing worse than if you're doing some sort of thing
Gee,
and then a
banter,
guy
here
just
we
like
go.
goes, how long you left? And you go, just the one. It's like, all right, sweet. And just stands there on his phone, peeking up at you sometimes, watching you do it. And you're just like, just
Yeah, they shouldn't look
I
at
love
you.
it.
It should be kind of like
Need the attention.
urinal etiquette. It should be like, don't be looking, like, but a little peek is okay. No, it should be like, don't be like, I know that you need to use this next, but pretend that I'm not here.
Yeah.
I remember one
kind
time,
of thing.
I think I told you about the guys about this. I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I was out in the Swan, the pub, and some lad came over to me, said he was a fan or whatever, and then he was all like, yeah, I'm an actor, I'm just trying to, get into things and stuff like that. But look, I just fucking hate the, the schmoozing and the networking and all this kind of stuff, And I was like, man, but like, you just got to do it. And he's like, yeah, but I don't, it's more about the craft for me. And I'm like, look, it might be advice you don't want here, but you just got to do it, and like you got to figure out a way of making it fun for yourself. And it seemed to annoy him, right? Because then he went, well, I saw you in the gym the other day, and you were struggling with the 12s.
What?
What the hell?
What?
Yeah. And I was like, all right, man. But he was just like,
He said that to you?
Yeah. Which, you know, sometimes you're there and you're like, no one's watching.
No one's watching. That's terrifying.
But he was watching.
Tony's
my
such
God.
a famous celeb, though.
I'm such a famous celeb.
That's scary to me now, thinking that people are watching and seeing how much you're holding.
Well, my
and
gym is a
everything like
real kind of, you know, plume kind of,
Plume heavy.
Plume heavy. It's
Okay,
it's
okay.
full of plumes.
I think it's so stupid to go like you were struggling with the 12s. It's like
starting.
But you have a different body. It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense. It's like so stupid.
Yeah.
I'm so far ahead of anyone. He's so thick to me.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
what I said to
I'm
him.
so far ahead of you in terms of intelligence and comfortability in the world. It was like, you fool. It was like, we have a different body though.
I struggle with
We've got
12. I
different
struggle with
bodies.
the 12 time tables.
Yeah, should
Struggle with the 12 times
We've
tables.
got a different body, actually. And you will never have this. You might have this, but you will never have this. You will never have this. I'm pointing at me head and my heart. Because you're not smart.
Take out your wallet, show your wife and kids. Yeah, you will never have this.
You will never have this.
But it's incomparable.
It is incomparable. How
No,
dare
it's
you?
incomparable.
We usually say that meaning something great. The incomparable. But it is uncomparable.
Did priceless confuse you as kids? I couldn't understand that.
Priceless.
It's priceless. I always thought that, so it's
Free.
worth nothing.
Oh.
Worthless
yeah.
and priceless. Yeah.
Priceless to me, when they were like, the crown is priceless. I'm like, oh, it's not worth anything. It's quite cheap.
Yeah.
Inflammable confused me.
Well,
Why?
that is ongoing confusing for everyone around the
You
world.
know,
Why?
Flammable.
Because it means
Means
flammable,
flammable.
and unflammable and
I never
like
even thought about it.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good chat for maybe if you're bored to talk to a stranger.
Inflammable, yeah.
good.
But not if you're on one of Ireland's leading podcasts, right?
Certainly
Luckily, I have no involvement in any of Ireland's reading podcasts. Just this one with my guys, my little peeps.
Hey.
And all the little people who listen. Do you know what I like when they tell you what they scoff laughing at? I like that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice to hear.
I was in the gym and I was wondering. I was like, people tell me sometimes.
All your
I was in the
anecdotes are
gym-
beginning like this at the moment. You're a real gym bro.
Yeah, yeah.
All your anecdotes are in the gym there.
You actually knocked my confidence now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you'd own it and you'd kind of pop out your
That's
chest.
how frail his confidence is.
Oh my God, that was so easy.
Killian.
Sorry.
You're becoming a real gym bro.
Sorry.
That was Tony's assault for one thing was that.
sorry.
Then I made myself vulnerable, and you took advantage of it.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
believe you.
No, we were just, it was just, yeah, no, I'm sorry.
Come
Actually,
on
you know
now,
what?
tit for tat.
Let's
How
hold
much do we
space.
lay into him?
No.
Killian needs to
Mr.
lay into
Marseille
Killian.
over
We
here.
have to keep reins on Killian. People sometimes message and say, "Oh my God, you're so harsh on Killian." I'm like, yes, we need to keep him in check.
Me
That's the thing.
unleashed can be rude.
Killian would be
We
a
got 18
disgrace.
months on you in this comedy game. And you best not forget it.
Killian would be an absolute disgrace if
I
we
would
didn't
actually.
Have, yeah.
I need to be checked.
You do. We first met you were a fucking...
Damn
you
it
were a
in the rough.
ladies' man. You were a fucking,
Lothario,
Lothario.
gambler.
Gambler. Insatiable drinker.
Carnivore.
Carnivore.
This is none of it's true.
This is not true.
Not one of those things is
That's,
true.
yeah, okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
Anyway,
I actually want to get into
Back
the
to-
gym too. Would
back
you
to
go
gym
with
talk.
Ray? Would you ever go to get him?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
he could spot you.
Yeah.
I would hate to go with him.
He'd stand over you. Maybe
He
he'd see his
he's
shorts.
in a different
What's
gym.
hanging
He
out in his
can go
shorts.
to that gym.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Wow.
I don't know. It's just like I would hate to go with. I don't know. I have strange, weird rules about intimacy in my head. Like I wouldn't hate to go with my brother or something. I'm like, I'll just jump into the traffic. Like no, thank you. Like I don't know. My brother, it's weird. I would hate that.
Do you know what else
Yeah, I
it's
don't
like?
do any sincere things with
I've
anyone
gone
else.
with them.
Yes,
You don't do
yeah.
anything sincere.
Not really,
I feel like I
mean,
might be able to go to the gym with Killian.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I
could go
do you
too.
think the problem with going to the gym
We're
with
in the
someone
same,
else
we're in the
is
same
when
gym.
Oh, okay.
you end up chatting. You end up chatting, and you end up spending a lot more time there than you regularly would.
Mm.
And I think it's more for people who really enjoy the space of the gym. You know, but I mean, I don't.
Like Shane.
I don't want to be there at all. I don't want to be there. It's a weird charged atmosphere where I feel like I'm doing things wrong all the time, and everyone else is bigger and stronger than me. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
I don't think so.
What were you saying, though, Shane? You were in the gym.
That was boring. Boring. All my stories start with the gym, I guess, so can't talk about that.
I'm sorry, Shane, for hurt your feelings. I actually don't want that.
I've lost respect for you because you kicked me while I was down. I was like, there's no honor in that, Killian.
But that's the easiest time to kick someone. Sorry, just for self-defense reasons. That is the easiest. If you're going to kick someone, tends to be when they're down, that's the best. And they're down there. That's the best time to use your feet. You can't.
Did you ever do karate as a kid? Any kind of karate?
No, my brother did.
We went to one called Kenpo.
Oh yeah, that's
which
what
might be
my
the loseriest of all the karates.
Oh, is it?
I don't know, but there was a chap who used to run it, and he used to be a bodyguard for like Michael Jackson and stuff. So he said anyway.
Oh whoa!
And he used to make these videotapes.
Oh wow!
About shout stop, we're fighting back.
What?
Right? And he was absolutely a mental person. And it would show you videotapes of this stuff of like if a cassette tape of not cassette tape, VHS, someone grabs you by the waist, tries to get you into a car. You then lean back and kick your feet off the side of the car. It will stun them, and then all this kind of crack.
That's brilliant.
And then like stuff like when they grab you, just break their fingers, like stuff like that. But he would say like there'd be little kids, their age range in the class would be like, teenagers down to like little kids.
Yeah.
And he would say, you could be attacked, you could be raped. And he would say this,
little kids,
to everyone in the room, and like the kids obviously wouldn't even know what that word is. But he was like mugged, robbed, assaulted, raped, and he would just say this and like it was so bizarre.
I love those guys who have like they have the exit strategy for absolutely everything. Like they are in constant fight or flight mode.
Slip under
mode.
if someone's behind your car, seatbelt, slip
under.
out.
Get your tie.
Yeah.
Always wear a tie, first of all.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things.
Always wear a tie. Yeah.
I want to
Slip out
wage a
your tie.
war on suits and ties.
What?
I saw Dublin's Lord Mayor James Geoghegan, famously, not a fan. But he was at the
First time I've heard that name.
Fine Gael's thinking. He ran.
Wait, is James Geoghegan I thought he lost.
Yeah, but he got into the city council.
Oh, he's councillor. Yeah.
Anyway, he has dead eyes. Anyway, and I think that's very telling. Anyway,
That's the worst thing anyone could ever say about you.
Well, I think people agree that
No, it's
James
fine,
Geoghegan has
it's
dead
fine.
eyes. Anyway, he was at Fine Gael's thinking. They had a thinking of some kind.
Not much thinking goes on in there.
Just that shower. And they're in some hotel or whatever. And I was like, why are you all wearing suits and ties? Are you not just rolling up your sleeves, having a thinking and going, what will we do next? They're pretending they're not preparing for an election, but of course they are. Of course they are, because they're running out of time for the time limit. But anyway, I was like, why? Imagine getting up and going, put on my tie to go have my thinking with my colleagues. So you're a team. You're a party together. I was like, why are you wearing this suit?
Yeah.
What's a suit? You know what the French word for suit is?
Well,
costume.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Is that not telling? I love people who do things like that. Join these dots was like, yes, of course, but that's another language. Like, that's a different language.
French.
That's in French. Yeah.
Saw this guy that I think he's like American. You see him, he's real finance bro TikTok.
I know you're talking about.
I fucking hate this guy, dude.
Is
He's
the
all like,
Rivers one?
Yeah, the river.
Oh my
and he's all like,
God.
okay, what, where, if you look at a river, what is it? What would you call it? It's like a current, the currency.
Yeah.
Okay. And what does a river do? Flow, like money. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you control the currency, you control the flow of money.
And what do they call the sides of the river?
The bank.
The banks. Follow the flow of the river and you'll find the money.
And it's just what
All I got to do, and you sit there and you wait for it.
the fuck
It's like makes no sense at all.
does that mean? I was speaking with Andrew Tate, and I know that he drinks Johnny Walker Black, and I studied him. So when he came to meet me, I had a bottle of Johnny Walker Black. He watched the TikTok, so he likes Johnny. You know what I mean? I studied. You must study for everyone trying to be a fucking philosopher just by getting through a fucking.
I feel
9 to
sorry.
5.
I feel sorry for them. I do feel sorry for them.
It's hard.
That's also just people do that all the time. I know, like stuff like the black. What is it? Johnny Walker Black Label. Is that what
Yeah,
it was? You'd know someone likes the drink, so you'd get that. That's very normal hospitality.
100%.
It's like
I want to make sure
that.
next time that I went to the podcast, I want to make sure that Shane liked me. I know that Shane likes Kit Kats, so I brought a Kit Kat in. It was not enough. He did not forgive me, and now I'm going to have to leave the podcast.
I brought him in a Ritter. I had already eaten some of it, but he didn't want any of it.
Yeah,
so I now know.
Let's talk about that in the podcast, actually, Tony. That was good to share. Like a Kit Kat, I have no particular affinity with Kit Kats. Just
No,
to say,
Nestle
I did have
are
them as
actually
a
quite
kid.
bad.
We used to have them on a little break in school. And my dad used to hide them around the house because people would eat the Kit Kats like little rats. The Kit Kats were for school lunch, and my dad would hide them around the various places.
They've lost prestige
Anyway,
since losing the foil. Go on.
Killian's father, Helmut, gave us a Ritter Sport. Did he not?
He
For our
apparently
podcast.
did. He apparently did.
And Killian said to us, "Oh, my dad gave us Ritter Sport." We're like,
Drive him
"Oh,
down.
that's nice.
That's nice of him."
That's nice." Then in the dressing room in the Cork Opera House, Killian produces a Ritter Sport which is already open
Half-eaten.
and half eaten, and expects us to go, "Ooh, lovely! Yes, I'll dip in."
And it was so
blood sugars were
unappetizing
low.
because you know what it was? It was
My blood
obviously it
sugars were
comes in
low.
squares or whatever like that. He had taken like off the first chunk and then, the first like line and then a few of the squares. So it looked like, a fucking Tetris block. Not appealing at all.
No.
You want it square so
My
that you
blood
can
sugars
decide,
were low.
I don't
I
give
had a show
shit
coming up.
about
I had a
your
show
We
coming
all
up.
had a show coming up, and I had a fever. And you know what? Like, I just think, like, I'm prepared to put up with some of your hippie sensibilities, but that's just pushing it now.
Yeah.
This is an anarchist group. This is an anarchist group, and we're in a polycule. We can eat each other's chocolate.
We trade each other
Hey.
trades for sex.
Polycule, we don't have sex with other's partners. We just have sex together here after the podcast.
Yes.
And our partners aren't really aware
And
of
our partners
Polycule.
hate it. You won't believe.
Join a polycule today, whether your partner agrees or disagrees. Join one. Sign up today and you can have whatever. I don't know.
Mullingar now has the world's largest polycule. I don't know why, but I feel like Mullingar has a lot of like,
A polycule of 17,000 has just amassed in Mullingar.
what is it when they put the keys in the bowl? What's that called?
Swinging.
Swinging. Banger up in Belfast. A lot
You
of
what?
swinging. A lot of swinging goes on there. Yeah.
Banger.
Banger. Yeah.
B-A-N-G-O-R.
Oh, Jesus. I thought you were saying.
Banger. Yeah,
you
that's what I
fucking
heard.
did
Yeah,
a-
yeah, that's
Oh,
what I heard.
yeah.
I was up there. I did a gig in the courthouse in Bangor, and I found out that apparently it's a swing.
A swinging
It used to
hotspot.
be a swinging hotspot. I don't think so anymore. But it was.
It is mad how like neighbours to be all like shagging each other and like people to be shagging each other in work. It's always very, like, you're here. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I could ever do that. I don't think I could I'm just going to shag the person in my closest proximity if I'm ever going to, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's a half-formed thought.
No.
No, I don't even know what I mean.
We
'cause I
welcome
don't
half-formed
intend to
thoughts.
have an affair, so I don't even...
What are you thinking about there, Tony?
No, just no. I remember my ma saying that there was an area in Donamead where we grew up originally, and she's like, "That's a swinging road, and that's a swinging road, and they're all hooking up with each other and all this stuff." And I just thought that was progressive.
How old were you?
No, like I was like 3 when we left Donamead or whatever. But but I don't know. I just thought it was weird. Just all these.
Did she tell you about that when you were 3?
Yeah.
No, she told me about it years after. We were driving back. We were driving
that's
by.
what we were curious about.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
asking.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
No,
Sorry.
go for it. Go
My
for
mum
it.
Go
told
for
me
it.
that the road outside my house was the most dangerous road in the world.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
She said, this is the most dangerous road in the world. And so I had to hold her hand when we crossed it. I had to wait for her to cross it. And like people would be like, why are you waiting for your mum? I was like, because this is actually the most dangerous road in the world. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Oh, that's
Just like
always...
fully believing, and I never did martial arts, just bringing it back to karate because I think that's such a funny thing.
Karate.
I did like one where you use like weapons or something like that. Like what's that one called?
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
That
sounds
that's
like a
like-
guy from Donegal.
No, it's that like Israeli special forces. It's the kind of, like, if you want to escape, you kick someone in the nuts and run away. It's that whole thing of like the martial art for the most practical use, which is like gouge him in the eye and run. Kick him in the fucking nuts
Oh,
and run.
okay. Well,
Grab the knife or whatever like that and then throw it in a bin and run.
Throw
All
it in a
that
bin.
kind of stuff.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
No, I don't know the weapon one.
But I just think it's so funny that the martial arts kind of thing took off for like everyone was
Everyone was
doing karate.
doing it. It was
They're training little kids.
3 Ninjas and all that,
That
Rocky,
was big.
Tum Tum, Colt.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a big thing.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
My uncle was taught some martial art, and he used to have this like wooden dummy that he made himself. He made a wooden dummy and he used to kick the fucking shit out of it in the back garden. And like he was just a bubbling, angry energy a lot of the time.
Oh, really?
And, wouldn't really shout, but he would just be like, all right, I'm going into the back garden. You just see him out in the rain, kicking the shit out of this with a face that he
Tell me I can't go on my golf holiday, huh?
Whatever works for you, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember in school, though, there was a kind of very intense, like a cliche of nerdy boy. And there was some kind of scuffle. He was involved in a scuffle. And he was like, okay, it's my time. My time has come. And he tried to do some of his karate. And I just like, I think at the time I hated him anyway, so I was kind of glad to watch it. But now I look back, the deep humiliation of like just how quickly he was, as we would have said at the time, bashed. He was bashed so quickly. It was like he tried like a hayam. I think he may have even done a hayam.
A chop.
A chop of some kind.
Oh my God.
I love the Tai
back
Chi
knuckle.
kind of. It's like people are like, you know, me about to get mugged, whipping out my Tai Chi I learned when I was a kid, and it's just like, no. All right, come at me. No, come at me.
And
all right, this is your mistake.
If you send some bad auras this way, I fucking swear to God.
You are so.
Yeah.
then he just got so bashed. And I think we were in like third year, and he just cried. I think, and it wasn't he wasn't hurt by the fighting or the scuffling. He was cried of like his world fell apart.
This is not practical.
He's like, I can't do karate. I can't protect myself. And that is a bit of a swizz, I think.
It is a Swiss, yeah.
It is a bit of a switch.
Like if you're Bruce Lee, probably good at karate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been crane kicked
Kung fu.
by my brother before, you know. And, you know, it's...
What's crane kick?
Crane kick is like that when Karate Kid's up on the thing and he goes, "Ja," you know, he jumps from one leg
That as
to
well,
the
like when
other.
you put your hands up here, I know what's coming.
Yeah.
If someone puts their hands up like that, I'd be like, well, I'm going to stay away from that man.
Yeah.
He's planning on doing a crane
I'm
kick.
doing a jumping kick.
Yeah. That's the dead giveaway. If you're planning on kicking someone, that's a dead giveaway. Putting your hands like that.
That's a dead giveaway. Yeah.
I just sweep the leg.
I sweep the leg.
Famously,
That's
you
what
have
I
to
do
sweep
in
the
the-
This is what I do anyway.
I love the Karate Kid. You know what the best part of it was me that he for Halloween dressed up as a shower? I thought that was absolutely amazing.
Very funny.
What a great costume.
Huh?
He dressed up as a shower. He went around with a
Karate
shower.
Kid,
He had
yeah.
a shower curtain around on a pole.
And all the
thing.
skeletons were chasing after him.
I don't understand.
In the movie, he dresses as a shower. He has a curtain around him and he's got a pole. That's his
What
costume.
don't you understand?
Is
We've
that-
said it quite
In the movie,
clearly.
the-
Is
Karate Kid.
it a reference to something?
No, he just
He
dresses
dressed
as a
as a
shower.
shower. That's what he dressed
Oh,
as.
that's a good
fun.
joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've said this before, but if I feel like if I can get any message out to young men who just like, why is it everyone thinks that they can fight and win a fight? And especially people who have not trained in any kind of martial art. Like, you know, you wouldn't enter a Scrabble competition for your life. You know, like if you lose the Scrabble competition, you get your head kicked in. You would never do that.
Yeah.
You would never do it with a knitting competition. You would never do it with, you know, applying a sticker on the perfect, you know, sticker. There's no way. So what makes you think that just without knowing anything about this person's background, that you can get in a fight and actually win? What is it like? Because I've always just been, I was telling you about this, I was a lippy little fucker when I was growing up, and I was humbled many a time by getting a bash. And, you know, just walk away. There is nothing wrong with you saying, like, you know, you fucking dickhead. And be like, all right, no, hey, grad, you know, like Pat Kenny getting fucking berated, you know, like, you piece of shit. Thank you very much. You know, thank you very much. It looks pathetic because it's on TV, but no one's going to see. Just live to fucking survive another day.
Yeah.
You're trying to get out of some fucking crazy situation here, and you say to do that is totally fine. You know, I don't think you're no loss of dignity by getting lippy with someone who's going to kick your head in.
Don't be having a fight.
Don't be having a fight.
I'd say I get the shit kicked out of me. I think because you're tall, sometimes you probably get started on less. But like, I think I'm a slow mover. I think I'm the wrong size. I've always thought this. I think I'm the wrong
Glacial,
size
people
for
have
my
said.
body, if you know what I mean. Like I feel like I'm a bit too tall. I'm a few centimeters too tall for what I'm comfortable moving around.
who
in.
you are.
For who I am. Yeah. Bump off. I hit my head a lot. I think I'm just my feet are too big. Getting in and out of cars is quite difficult because my feet get stuck.
Jesus.
It's just I think I'm a bit too big. I feel like if it was a bit smaller, then I'd be a force to be reckoned with. But unfortunately, with this body, I mean, I shouldn't be giving it away publicly, but you could probably take me.
Jesus.
You're a weird chap, Killian.
You're very weird. Do you know what would be interesting?
Why?
What a strange thing.
I think I'm a little too big.
I
My
think
feet
you-
are always getting caught in cars.
Well, you know when you're getting into the passenger in the back of the cars.
How big could your feet possibly be?
When they're when you're getting in and out of cars, I have to turn them to the side like that. And
Do
sometimes
you know the way comedians can't be funny on talk shows? I feel like that should be your cause, being like, look, I'm probably two inches
Too big to
taller
be,
than
yeah.
what is comfortable in my body. I'm constantly... and your feet, tell us about the feet getting into cars.
Yeah, well, they, sometimes I have to turn them to the side. Sometimes I get stuck and I have to ask the person in the front to move the chair forward so that I can actually get out.
Jesus.
It feels like I'm like James Bond and I've been trapped. And I'm like, oh no, they have me by the ankles.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, so
That's tough.
Yeah, thanks. Do you think I'll get onto the late with this?
Yeah, that'll be good one.
I find it very difficult to say late.
Late.
I struggle up with that and I have to say.
Late show.
The
Longest running chat show ever.
Which means it's the best. That's how it works. That's how it always works, which means it's the best. Anyway, it's back. I'm going to be on for Good Boy.
Are you?
No, I don't know. I'm just putting it out there.
Are you manifesting?
I'm manifesting.
I saw the other day someone
be on the
share a
Friday
video
before Good
of
Boy's out.
Kate Winslet talking about really believing in manifesting.
Oh, so you're into it. You believe?
Is it
No, I
manifesting
do
when you
not.
get, you're in
Kate
Titanic when you're
Winslet,
20?
when you're 20 years of age, you get to be in the biggest film ever made ever. And then, did she win an Oscar for that? Nominated for an Oscar for that? Did she win one?
Yeah, but you know what she did after that?
That's
She
all
went
well and
back and
good.
learned how to act. She, I won't have a bad word said about Kate Winslet.
I love her
we're
so
both
much.
born in Reading.
I
We're born in-
love Kate
Okay, okay,
Winslet.
okay.
I love Kate Winslet.
Yeah, but manifesting is a load of...
I'm sorry, manifesting is not real.
It is real.
It is not real. And everyone needs to stop doing this because you're setting yourself up for fails.
totally
And
real.
you know what else I find? Tell you another thing I find, a similar thing. Somebody will post something like this. You post like...
He's just saying it is.
No, it's not
just
real.
direct.
It's not real. Of course it's not real. Why don't they manifest themselves out of decrepit poverty in war-torn parts of the country?
It takes time.
Yeah. See, they don't answer for you. Rubbish. Garbage. Same as prayer. Doesn't work. Sorry. Doesn't work. Anyway, there is no such thing as a God. Anyway,
Yes.
you know when people post this thing
okay, he agrees
I'm
on that.
sick of is someone will post like someone with a big account and they'll post like, you know what? I've been feeling pretty sluggish lately, just trying hard to get through. No motivation, no confidence, not backing myself. But I guess I'm just going to sit with it and just sit in that and let that be and hold space for that. And then a million people will see that and go, wow, needed this. And then they'll post the thing and people saying, wow, needed this. It's like, you didn't need it. Things cannot be solved by a couple of sentences. Things can't be solved by sentences. You can't do a small mini paragraph, a quote-sized thing that'll fit into a square on Instagram. That'll be solved. It was like, I thought I was this, but then I thought this. Oh, now needed that.
There's
Things
definitely
take work.
There's definitely too much of it, but you know, I don't.
Is this too serious?
I'll tell you,
No.
I'll tell you a few sentences that solve a few things. The fucking Bunrock na Heron. How about those sentences?
There you fucking
yeah.
go.
So
Yeah.
maybe just rein that in.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, and our constitution, which people died for, our constitution, which is very important.
Manifested by martyrs who lost their life was the Bunrock na Hearn. I don't believe in manifestation.
Is
in
there
the
a better
kind of woo-woo.
manifester than James Connolly? Really? And Porrick Pierce?
No, I mean, I don't believe in manifestation, but in the woo-woo sense. But I'd say that you look at you inhaling to prepare for a hard sigh.
I'm not.
so
I'm
fucked
I'm
up.
not.
This is a hard
I'm
sigh.
not.
So
I,
fucked.
I'm in. I was preparing for a sigh. I
It
was
is
taking.
just, it's like hearing a gun get fucking cocked and ready to fucking shoot.
I'll
and
sit back.
inhale.
I'll sit
fucking,
back. I'll sit
It's
over
the
here with
twig.
Killian.
It's the crack of the twig before the
It's like
net
some
falls
anime,
down
you know,
on you.
Dragon Ball, fucking Super Saiyan
the
Sai
chi
coming here.
is entering his body
Yeah.
to just. You are fucked.
No, I don't believe it in the woo-woo sense, but I definitely think that having an idea what you want and getting it out somewhere written down means that you're more likely to notice patterns to follow it. It's not that. You don't create it, you don't conjure it, but it's like, you know, okay, I want to... You know, sometimes you have a big feeling about something that you really want and it's hard to actually say. So saying that is probably the hardest part of any of it, is actually admitting that you want something or admitting that you want to change or admitting that you really do actually like something, even though it's a bit cringe and it's a bit out of your reach, and that's really tough. And that's really hard. So even getting that bit down on paper means that you're kind of heading towards it. And then if you're like, and I want to get it by the age of 40, that means that you have, when things pop up, you're like, oh, well, if I'm looking at 2 roads down the road, that would be closer to the road of getting that by the time I'm 40 rather than following this road. And that could be this, the bad road could be diet, or the bad road could be spending money on stuff I don't need, or whatever it is. I want to be a millionaire by 40. That means, oh, well, this seems like a good opportunity for money. This means I should save. It's not manifesting, it's just carving out a road and then following the path by writing down what you want.
I'm talking about thinking the universe will provide what you want just because you want it.
No, you will recognize the patterns better of the things that you want. And some people don't want to accept their own responsibility and their own success in that, and want to believe that there's some sort of outside factor, but it is kind of you.
If there was a consciousness of the universe, what's that word? If you know, it's not
The fabric of time and space.
sentience. If there was some kind of sentient universe energetically, it would not care about you. You're as significant as a rock or a stone or a bit of water or a puddle. You're just part of it. It doesn't care. It doesn't care about you, the universe. If such a thing exists, it doesn't care.
The universe is very broad. I think there's the spectrum, and
There's a spectrum for everything these days. I'm sick of the L spectrums. No, I just don't believe in that. I just think people are wasting time. You're not going to feel better if you don't, unless you deal with things realistically. You're not going to feel better. I'll tell you what. The other day, I'll be vulnerable. Right? I had a show the other day. Found it really hard. Found it really tough. I didn't enjoy it. I was embarrassed. I was like, the audience aren't having a good time.
Oh.
I can't turn this around.
I hate to hear that.
And you'd love to. I was saying to you a while ago on this. You'd love to then go, oh, put that on Instagram and go, guys, I'm not sure what happened tonight. That was a weird buzz. But that's disrespectful to the audience, who may well have had a good time. But I know it wasn't as good. And that's the nature of what we do. But I was trying to say to when I went home then, I was like, you know what? Like, that's just life. Like, I have to just sit with that. I was like, it wasn't that good. And it was kind of my fault. And I wasn't that good. I wasn't my best. And that's what happened. I was like, Rain was like, no. And I was like, no, it's okay. This is part of what it's about. I have to feel shit tonight. The grit. That's part of the grit of being a comedian. It was like, some days aren't going to be as good as others, and it's miserable. And I'm so sad about it when you're at home then, and it's so disappointing.
But what does Sarah Millican say?
You can stop thinking about it. You can think about it up until 11 the next morning.
Yeah. What time is it?
It's 11:45.
So you got it?
This is a different day.
this is a different day. It wasn't last night's gig.
The time now.
Oh, yeah.
Irrelevant.
Wasn't last night's gig.
You're right.
But I just think sometimes you have to just sit with shit times and not just wish them away. You have to just sit there and get through things. You know what I mean? I'm like, sometimes it's just time is a healer, all that shit. You can't. It's going to take longer for you if you think you can sit and do magic and conjure the universe and stardust and all that stuff. It's going to take longer for you to feel better if you don't just sit there and go, this is shit.
It's like when you're trying to resolve. Are you ever having an argument and you've had a couple of drinks with your partner, or maybe if you're seeing someone when you're a teenager and you're having a fight and you're about to be a bit drunk and you're trying to resolve the fight that night, and it just seems to be accelerating the fight, and then you're picking apart other things people have said, and then the fight's not about what the fight was, and then you're exhausted the next morning. And if you actually just left it and slept, you could probably both come back with a kind of clearer mind and do that. You have those fights with yourself in those kind of situations. You know what I mean? You have to kind of stew a little bit and not have the fight with yourself, and actually just be like, do you know what? If this was with someone else, I'd be like, let's stop talking about this, babe.
Yeah.
The biggest fight me and Raymond ever had was when the night I did Vicar Street.
Yeah.
And you know what I did? I threw my phone. Isn't that terrible? Did I tell you that before on this podcast? Maybe I did.
I think you've told me. I don't know if you said it on this podcast,
I
but
threw my phone.
oh my God.
Did it break?
No, it was okay, thank God.
That's so exciting.
It was too much. There was too much adrenaline in my body or whatever. It was over whether we should buy something to eat or cook something that was there already. And I was like, buy something. Rain was like, we'll just cook these. And I was like, you bastard.
Do I mean nothing to you?
Yeah. This is the biggest night of my career, my life. Like,
Well, I have to cook.
It is
Like some
It is
servant
that is peak
in Downton Abbey.
2024 drama. Like that's
Yeah.
like the height of like you
Yeah.
know. I'm trying to picture what it would be in like some
What do
old-timey,
millennials fight about? It's
you know,
take
but
away your
throwing-
home
no, but
cooking.
throwing your phone is I don't know. That's like the most
Yeah.
traumatic thing because your phones you got loads of.
This, I don't give a shit about this.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
my
yeah.
phone. This
My
cost
phone.
€1,200 or whatever it cost. Even this I don't care about. I'll toss it aside. It's such anger I have at you to express what a pig you are.
There's a bit in the movie I was watching last night where someone gets a hit. It's a hitman film. It's Linklater's new. Someone gets a hitman to get.
It's called Hitman.
It's called hitman to get their partner killed.
Right.
And they're like the person who used to be in a relationship with the guy they're talking about it. And she's like, yeah, but there was passion there, wasn't there? You know, there's something beautiful about that. Like, I mean, I know she literally tried to have him killed, but there was like, they must have had a real love there as well, right? It's almost sexual and kind of, you know, exciting and passionate. And I'm like, and it was like, God, it's mad. Some people think that way. Some
Yeah.
people literally think that way. Like that, like he tried to kill me, but that just shows how much he loved me. You know,
Yeah.
this kind of madness. And I think kind of in that willingness to throw your phone, there's like that's just shows how much there is there.
Yeah.
Just how much
People
you
do
love
that. They
it.
try and claim someone else's volatility as their passion for the relationship. Like, babe, that's nothing to do with you at all. He's a loco, bro. He's
wants to
crazy.
kill you.
You know, he's flipping tables. But
Yeah.
that's because he loves me. If he was with some boring, you know, librarian or whatever, he wouldn't flip a table. He'd probably like, pull a book out or something. You know, no, none of that for me, thank you. But people are drawn to crazy. You know, not to anyone knows crazy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I was watching Batman Returns, and like Michelle Pfeiffer absolute smoke show, 100% incredible in the film. And then she dies and she comes back as Catwoman, and then she comes back in as Selena Kyle, after Christopher Walken thinks that he's killed her. And she basically comes in with fucking bandages all over her face and her hand. And that happens to be when Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne is there. And she's like acting crazy, being like, like walking around. And his jaw is on the floor because he's like smitten with her like a kitten. But like, she's literally walked in here. She's like, I don't remember what happened last night. But he's like just infatuated with her. Like, she couldn't look more crazy. She still has scars from some injury. And he's all like, maybe we get dinner. Like, there is just a thing, of just being drawn to crazy. Do you think if Bono, and I say if because it might not happen, if Bono ever died, right? Because again, it might not happen.
It's unlikely, but go on.
It's unlikely.
Could happen.
Do you think the naysayers or the people who hate Bono would hold firm that they don't like Bono?
No.
Or would they, I think he's the greatest, like U2, of course, but like Bono, the greatest Irish musical act like ever, like our biggest,
Phil
like
Lizzy.
in terms of taste,
yeah,
sure. But Bono and U2 are the biggest Irish musical contribution to rock or to popular music ever.
There's a couple, Enya?
No.
Van Morrison?
You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Okay.
Well,
Biggest
you are,
export.
but I disagree.
Big
Cranberries?
No, but like they're not,
Sinead O'Connor.
but not as big as U2.
No, you're right. Yeah,
You know
they're
what I
the
mean?
biggest band in the
So
world.
like the biggest band in the world.
You know,
so
when
like,
they did that Sphere thing in Las Vegas, they said only one band can do this, and it's Coldplay maybe now, but really U2.
But like,
they're
so
they're the ones who are the biggest.
and you have bands that you prefer and everything like that. But I just wonder, obviously there's, the week-long mourning for Sinead O'Connor. It was very beautiful and seeing everyone come out, and then Shane McGowan. But Bono's in a league of his own, and I wonder if you're a naysayer now. All right, if you're a naysayer now, are you going to hold to your word, or are you going to turn? All right?
I will hold firm.
What?
I won't hold firm. The guy's no,
Guy's
I definitely-
amazing.
The week long. Think of all the good music.
I mean, I think The Edge as well. You know what I mean?
That all that you can leave behind.
I don't know. What do you know? What do you mean, which? Everything. Everything.
Do you love U2?
I do like U2.
Do you know who loves U2? Dwayne Dugan, and I really like that he likes U2 so much. Dwayne Dugan.
Yeah, they went to Vegas.
He went to Vegas.
Wow.
He loves U2.
Anyway, I'm just saying.
Comedian, host of Cherry Comedy, Monday nights in Whelan's.
Yeah.
Every 8:45.
Just telegraphing that now, just in case. Not that I know one about him. Not that
I tell
know
you who
one about
will.
Horizon.
You're my fucking. Well, they must be mates, right? But what's his name? Dave.
Jesus.
He's the music guy on RTE2FM.
Dave Fanning.
Dave Fanning. Anytime anyone dies, Dave Fanning's like, do you know what? They were a bit of a cunt though, weren't they? It's just like anytime anyone dies, he has to kind of do that.
Where's
though.
Dave Fanning gone now? He doesn't do the afternoon anymore. So where's he gone?
I wouldn't know.
He's on the weekends. He interviews people, asks them what their favorite albums are.
I
And stuff
don't know.
Like that.
I don't know if he has that show anymore.
Well, he does because I did an interview. I did an interview with him last year because I went up to him and I was doing like choose your favorite album. I chose Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous.
Wow.
And he was very happy with that. But I
Lizzy's
showed
the
up there
greatest hits.
outside the RT studios. I couldn't get in. Dave pulls up, gets out of his car. And I was like, oh, wow, he's arriving at the same time. I thought he's doing a show. I go up to him and go, hey, Dave, how's it going? And he goes, no, I don't have time. I'm sorry, I don't have time. And I was like, oh, no. And I was like, no, sorry, I'm Killian. And he's like, yeah, I've got to go. And I was like, no, I'm interviewing you. And he's like, or you're interviewing me. He's like, oh, cool, okay. And then we come and do the interview. Whoever his researcher was had done unbelievable now. So it actually went really, really well. And there's something nice sometimes about someone interviewing you who doesn't know at all who you are. So they're really just like finding out. Every bit of information you give them is completely new to them. So everything I was saying was like, so I'm a comedian. A comedian, great. It's like literally like
my God.
nothing. It was so funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very embarrassing. He thought I was someone, I think, trying to get his attention. Or
Outside RTE?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like
I don't have
on
time.
the campus of RTE?
Yeah. I don't have time, or whatever, you know. I was like,
That's
you're the
gas.
virus. You're the virus, Dave.
Yeah. Dave Fanning is the virus. I wonder what the people who listen to this podcast in other countries think of us when we talk, or think, how do you feel when we talk about like Dave Fanning? You don't know who that is, but how do you feel? What's it like? Do you care? Because like I always wonder, like we see the world, we see the cultures from all over the world in a small country, but people don't necessarily hear about our little intricacies. Do you know what I mean? I often wonder that. I often wonder how what's their experience of that?
Are you manifesting a global listenership?
Well, this is kind
do
of.
have double
if you're
listenership.
thinking about the sort of is the minutia of Dublin interesting. Let me tell you about a little book called Ulysses, and a little
my
writer
God,
called James
Jesus
Joyce, and
Christ.
one of the most.
What publisher was he with?
Well, actually, Ulysses was done with a different publisher, but Finnegan's Wake was done with Faber, which is my publisher. So we share a publisher.
What about a book about just a couple of normal people gone to
That's
college?
also, sorry, Sally Rooney's Normal People was with a different publisher, but her most recent one, Intermezzo, was done with the. It's Faber.
I'm trying to set you up for this.
I know.
You've been trading on this. You're like the same people who published Sally Rooney, James Joyce,
It is true.
and Killian Sundermann.
And Killian Sundermann and Beckett and Heaney. But
Right.
but it was like their later stuff, you know.
I feel like I'd love to get back into some good Irish literature, but I feel like I need like, ChatGPT, be like, read this like Seamus Heaney bit and be like, why is this good? You know what I mean? Read it and then be like, and then why is this good? I feel
Just
like
read
I've missed
Sally
out.
Rooney.
Okay.
She's great.
Okay.
It's just, and it's easy to read because it's in your vernacular.
you fly through it.
Like
yeah, I
there's-
just don't know anything about. Do you not feel like I feel like a bit of a fraud that I haven't read? The greats. You know what I mean? The greats of Irish literature, the ones that stem, the one who we claim when we want to, assert ourselves as a cultural superpower. I
One
haven't
time
read any of
Seamus Heaney walked past me and my friends, and when he was kind of out of earshot, we were still talking, and Seamus Heaney walked by, and my friend Rasha, she said, "Sorry, can we take a moment for the nation's poet?" And I thought that was absolutely really
Oh,
funny.
that's cute.
I thought it was a good.
How
good
do you
joke.
become a national poet? Like, how does that happen?
He's the nation's poet. I
He's
don't
the
know.
nation's poet.
I'm a poet.
I don't know.
But you didn't know it.
That really made me laugh when you said that time, Tony.
Yeah.
It just- Oh, really did. Now, remember when Tony, it was last week, Tony was like, "I'm a poet."
I'm a comedian and poet. I'm a poet.
I'm a poet. I just, not sure why it tickled me so
I think it's something to do with Tony's kind of like sometimes he wants. So like there was a photo of me like doing the solo on the stage in Cork,
guitar.
and
Yeah.
someone had just written saying like I could just tell how jealous Tony is right now.
Why did your people have such this relationship with Tony? Lads always write in slagging Tony and all. Why do they do that for you?
They know me. They know how petty I am.
yeah.
I don't hide it.
Yeah.
I was jealous. That's why I got up and tried to play it again and fucked it up. Yeah, and I took too long.
You
doing
did a
it.
good job.
Thank
You
you.
did a
I
very
did
good
okay.
job. You do well going from. You have a good ear for picking out a tune.
Thank you very much.
I can pick out a tune, that Tony boy. He can pick out a
Just
tune.
got to play it by ear. You know what I mean?
He plays by ear.
Play it
Yeah,
by
he can
ear.
pick out a tune.
Play it
I'm
by
very,
ear.
I'm very petty. No, even when you said your man was a comedian and a poet, I'm like, I'm a poet. I was like, I didn't. I know. I was
jealousy.
joking. I don't even think I was joking. I think I'm just petty.
I think I remember listening to you. It must have been you were talking to Justine or something like that, and talking about her. She was talking about maybe juggling on a date, and I remember you said, "I don't think I would enjoy that because I think I would be so jealous of you." It's just so unreasonable.
Yeah, I think she said
I'd be
that she
so
just
jealous that
can't
you're
really
able.
juggle on a date to like impress someone, and I'm like, I'd just be sitting there fucking skating with jealousy. Being like, why can't I fucking juggle? Why can't I juggle, lads? I'm also sorry. I know we're running out of time, but I'm done with my whole DIY. I want to get good at DIY fucking shtick, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm done with it. I tried to hang shelves in my shed, right? And I didn't measure anything. And I hung them up, and it's kind of a slanty roof, right? And I hung up the shelves, and then when I put the slat over the brackets, I'm not even joking. It's like this gap between the shelf and the roof, right?
That's about 3 inches?
3 inches. I can't fit a board game.
What do you mean?
I can't fit a
That's 8 inches.
Oh, that's fun.
What,
Just
yeah,
whatever.
whatever. Why
Yeah,
bother
that's
trying to
fun.
do a
Yeah,
dick joke
fucking
at this
joke.
point?
Like,
That's fun.
At this stage.
No, let's just fucking.
And there weren't even
Go on
blades
anyway.
involved. There was no blades. It was just hanging a bit of wood with brackets, and I cut myself 3 different times. I was
You've
bleeding
plasters
everywhere.
on. You look like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, there was dust everywhere from me drilling into the fucking wall. I did serious damage. I just don't have it in me. It's not my thing. I've been fantasizing and wanting to be that sort of person, so I'm done with the DIY, right? So if I'm ever getting excited by, it's TikTok, I was going to build a fucking treehouse for my kid. He would have died. Everyone would have died.
Yeah.
And I probably would have salted the earth somehow and ruined the grass.
And rust and
And rust.
lockjaw.
Yeah, I would
Tree
have died.
houses are not real. There is no tree houses. No one has a tree house. I saw an interesting TikTok about it. Where are the tree houses? Who had a tree house? Have you ever seen a tree house in your entire goddamn life that wasn't on telly?
Terry had a treehouse.
No, she didn't.
She did.
What
Okay,
was
well
it
there you
like,
go.
though?
I
Was
take
it a
everything-
treehouse that they
literally
bought?
take it all back?
No, I think her dad built it with some builder friends of his.
Right.
You know.
My dad put in like
also a
a
treehouse
pallet
nearby.
into the tree. So just kind of a platform.
That's
But it
all
was
we
good, it
had.
worked.
That's all we had.
That's all we had.
No, it was only
With
for
street
the younger
palette.
boys. I was kind of finished climbing the tree at that point. But I did fantasize about having a Christmas tree, about having a tree house. We never had a Christmas tree. We never had Christmas. Yeah.
God, that's
No, we did. But we had that
We didn't
in.
have a Christmas tree. We had a pallet in a tree. That's all you had then. You were happy for it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you, Bup. Remember, you go over to Christmas and you go over the palace. You'd go into the neighbour's pallet then.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, and you go over and you bring over whatever it was, the
14 kids on one pallet. I mean, it was there was no health and safety back then.
We went to
safety.
Mrs. Driscoll's next door. We went over to Mrs. Driscoll's and we said, "Can we go on your pallet?" She said, "Go on the pallet. They're out in the pallet." I said, "Where's Philly?" He said, "He's on the pallet." Went out and there was Philly on the pallet. I didn't know he was even there. That's just the way it was. You know what I mean? And you ate your dinner. Truly,
Yeah.
you ate your dinner.
pallet.
You ate whatever you were given. You ate your dinner, and you get an orange.
Dead
Anyway,
eyes.
I'm
That's-
done. I'm done with that. I'm trying to bury all things that I think I'm fantasizing about becoming. You know, I'm adopting more of the joy of missing out. There's only a limited amount of time left. I'm not wasting any
Jomo.
more of it. Jomo.
You want to spend that with your beautiful children.
I want to spend it doing things I'm actually good at and getting better at it. Maybe feign some mastery in the things I currently have a small amount of skill in, rather than trying to stop at the bottom for stuff that that is just not going to work out for me. DIY being one of them. So. Yeah.
Well, I think there was a moment today where Shane was trying to make coffee and the coffee machine wasn't working, and Tony he looked at the machine. He identified the problem.
Mm-hmm.
He was like one of those Indian guys that you see on TikTok. He was bashing shit around. He was being very quick and theatrical in his
Those are the
movements.
people who fix electronics that they do
Fix
very
electronics and they do it very quickly. But he figured out the problem and he got a different jug and he pushed the lever and the lever released the coffee and Shane had a delicious cup of coffee and I thought that was pretty impressive.
quickly. All right, I'm back. Right.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. I'm going to build a car. And I'm going to build it all myself.
Build a car
I'm going to build a car.
from scratch. I'm going to build a car from
Fucking
scratch.
scratch.
But look, thanks
No, I
very
thought
much.
that was kind of good. No, I thought that was good.
This was probably a short podcast today. Look, thanks very much for listening to our podcast. If you like it, give it a 5 stars on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to.
And
give us a
also-
follow on YHG Pod on Instagram.
And you know, some people still go onto their podcast app, they search for the pod and they listen to the latest episode. Give us a subscribe.
Yeah, you can do that, and
Yeah,
we'll tell you when
absolutely.
it comes. Get a little notification if you want.
You know, it
And if
helps
you
us
want an
out.
extra bonus podcast every week, you can go to HeadStuff Plus, and for the price of a €5, which is incomparable to anything nowadays because everything's a bit more than that, you can get an extra podcast every single week.
And listeners in London can come see me on the 28th of October in the Underbelly in Soho, Underbelly Boulevard. So I'll see you there, 28th.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
They're attractive. They're very attractive.
Hot and loud.
And a little bit sad.
He was the best guy around.
Oh my. Is it hot in here or what?
You're an attractive guy.
It's the fabulous Tony Cantwell.
I'm talking about Shane Daniel Byrne.
Killian, Sundermann!